It's a rice force here, and this video is actually gonna be more of a recap. So this is technology prediction, the Bible, and this is the first video I did on this channel. You want to go back and look. I'm just gonna do a recap. Something I didn't go over in that video, of course. So Daniel 12:4. People ask this question: does the Bible say anything about technology increasing? Daniel, here it is, 12:4 / shopper. But you, Daniel, roll up and seal the words of the scroll unto the time of the end. Men shall go here and there to increase knowledge. So this one say men should go here and there to increase knowledge. Well, some of y'all probably had a Bible that say that men should go here and there and knowledge should increase. But here it says men will go here and there to increase knowledge. So it's basically saying the same thing still. So knowledge will increase, and it has increased. And remember, Daniel was written around 2,500 years ago, give or take. So there's no way he would have knew about transportation, for example. So let's talk about transportation. So from like the Old Testament times, Abraham, David, Daniel, Jesus, Apostle Paul, all the way up into George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, not Abraham in the Bible, but Abraham Lincoln timeline. There's one thing about transportation. Their transportation was pretty much the same. They rode on horses. And they used carriage too, many of them. It was pretty much basically the same transportation. Nothing really changed between the Old Testament and up to between the 1800s. People did start to invent bicycles, so they didn't really have to rely on horses too much. He used to ride bikes today. I like bicycles. If there's ever EMP, you can still ride bicycles. I think that showed a revolution. I think that was. I think they kind of had it wrong, because electricity went out in that show. All electricity went out. But that happened in real life. I believe there would be more people riding bicycles. But anyway, back to the topic. Trains came around, steam engine trains. I believe they came around 1700, 1800s. I had to go back and look. But you can feel free to chat. So steam engine trains became a transportation. I'm not quite sure how fast they went. Then cars came around the 1880s. The first car was, you guess, a steam engine car. Then Henry Ford, and then his version of a car. And being dead, his company's still around. Ford company, but his cars, his ancestors, they make cars much better now. So cars came around in the 1800s, and it's now the early 2000s. So that's about 130 years cars been around. It's really not that long. So George Washington transportation was more like the Bible transportation than it is now, even though George Washington timeline is much closer to ours than it is to Daniel's timeline. but still, transportation was more similar between Daniel and George Washington. Planes, the Wright brothers, they invented planes. And once planes came around, we could really go. Then there's spaceships, of course. Most of us don't never even been in a spaceship. Then let's talk with weapons. So pretty much the Bible times all the way to like medieval times, weapons were pretty much the same. They used arrows. Pretty much every culture started with arrows. Many cultures use swords for weapons. But over time, they found ways to use gunpowder to make even more dangerous weapons. Guns, cannons. Once guns came around, it was on. If you start using guns. Think about arrows. You can see them coming at you. If you're at a good distance, you could dodge them or even catch the arrows. So Oliver Queen's not the only person that catch arrows. There's actual people that catch arrows if they're coming at you. But try that with a bullet. It's going to go through your hand. It's not going to happen. If you're even quick enough to put your hand up to begin with, because bullets are really fast. Then bombs came around. I'm not quite sure when they invented bombs. I had to go back online and check. They definitely had bombs in the 1800s though. They used dynamites, rocket launchers, nuclear weapons. That's like the most dangerous weapon we have right now is the nuclear weapons. The way we cook food, it really hasn't changed too much. But with a microwave, we cook food much faster now. Well, it used to take several minutes. Sometimes it could be like seconds to cook some of the meals we have. The gospel, sharing the word, spreading the gospel. Jesus did point that out, that we should spread the gospel around the world. That was hard doing Paul's time. But now it's much easier. And I'm going to go with communication. And this is like when you're not in the same location as the other person. You want to communicate with them. In the old days, you had to send letters. You want to communicate to somebody. There's no guarantee they always got those letters. A man around the 1870s, 80s, not quite sure. I can't even think of his name right now. He invented a telephone. So then we could just talk to people that weren't in the same room or location as us. Then over time, we talked to people from out of town. People that are like in other states. And eventually we talked to people from other countries with telephones. So communication became much easier. No way Daniel could have ever predicted that one. Emails came around. So now it's like instantly now. You want to send a message to somebody, just send them an email. It takes a couple seconds for the email to send to them. Of course, there's webcam, so now you instantly see the person live when you're talking to them. I mean, just think of Jacob in the Bible. After he ran away from his brother Esau, I'm pretty sure if he would have had webcam back then, he would have talked to his mother, Rebecca, and Isaac. He would have used that webcam just so they can know he was okay. But he didn't have that technology. Drugs. And I'm not talking about bad drugs. we have medicine now to cure some disease that we get that we just couldn't cure just a century ago. We couldn't cure them. So it's not just technology, it's medicine too that's advancing. Because I know there's a cancer, stomach cancer, stomach cancer. Just 15 years ago, there was no way to treat it. But now they found a way to treat it. I'm not much of a medical scientist, but I know that they couldn't cure it. They had no way to treat it back then. Now let's go to the body enhancements. He could take steroids, get themselves stronger. And now, if somebody don't want to be bald headed, in the old days, if you was going bald, you had to suck it up, embrace that you were going bald. But now, what people could do now, they get hair transplants. If they want a full head of hair. Or maybe there's somebody out there that's not even going bald, but they just don't like their hairline. Maybe their head's too big and they want their hair to come up further. They could do that. So we could pretty much modify our bodies now. Change our eye colors. I could literally get blue contacts, put them in my eyes. Of course, there's a knowledge increase. We could learn things at a much faster rate than previous generations could. If I want to learn something about a telephone, how it's made, how it works, I can just go online. There actually is a website. About 10 years ago, I don't know if it's still there. Website called How Things Work. Haven't looked at it in a while. It's pretty interesting. Maybe you want to learn how to change a certain part in your car. You could go on YouTube actually and literally see how they repair some parts on your car. I learned how to repair a part on a Nintendo. I learned how to fix it. Wish they would have had it in the 90s though. I could have made some money that way. But of course I was pretty much a child in the 90s, so people probably wouldn't take me too seriously. But I could have still did it for the kids. They wanted a Nintendo fixed. Method of learning. Now we don't have to be in the classroom. We could literally take online classes. I took online class in college where I didn't have to sit in the classroom. I wish I would have had that when I was in junior high. I hated my junior high school. Did not like going there. I would have enjoyed going to an online class in junior high. Would have been so much better. So I'm just pointing out these technology predictions. Well, they're not all predictions, but I'm just pointing out how technology has advanced since Daniel wrote that verse. There's no way he could have known about cars being invented or emails. If I was to take Daniel right now, put him in his current timeline, he would have a hard time adjusting to it. So the world would be so different than what he's used to. Even if God did show him a glimpse of this current modern technology future, he would have had a hard time explaining it. Same thing with these other people in the Bible. They have a hard time explaining what they see in the future, so they put their own words. They describe it in their own metaphor. So I hope that answers y'all people questions. Because the Bible show that technology would advance. It don't say in those words, but it showed that it will advance. People are always capable of having this technology, when you think about it, why couldn't they have this technology during Abraham time, Jacob time, Daniel time? Why couldn't they have this technology during Jesus time? It took a while. And I believe that it shows the end times near, but I'm running out of time. That being said, God bless. Bye for now.